Good evening, everyone. At this time, I'll call to order the regularly scheduled committee meeting for the Village of Midlothian, Wednesday, August 6th, 2025, at 7 p.m. Roll call, please, Clerk Moscow.
Trustee Burbatt.
Here.
Trustee Crowley.
Here.
Trustee Hilly. Trustee Jed.
Here.
Trustee Johnson.
Here.
Trustee Killy.
Here.
Mayor Lou.
Here.
You have a quorum, sir.
Thank you, sir. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I will open the floor to public comment. Is there any public comment tonight? Sir? No? Just here to listen? Just here to listen? You want to?
Yeah. I was here a few months ago talking about how bad the traffic is down my side street. And the reason I came is because someone totaled their car on my front lawn, along a stop sign. And I think it was the chief of police was here, said, I'll put this thing out there that shows their speed. He never put it out on the street, he put it somewhere else in the neighborhood. And the night of the fair, they were tearing up and down the street with all that fair traffic and all these people walking. I don't know if he was an officer, cadet in one of the cars. I told him about this kid in a black car, and he goes, oh, we know about it. But nobody did anything. All this traffic coming from the fair, all these people walking, these guys are racing up and down the street. I'm afraid to say one of these kids is gonna get hit, and I don't want that to happen. We need to get some speed bumps. That's what I'm asking for.
Refresh our memory, you were at what location, what area?
145th Street, like from Pulaski to Cosman. I'm hoping that'd be something we can consider.
Yes, we got a grant to work with CMAP on a traffic safety, village-wide traffic safety study. I'm sure we brought it up when you were here last. Unfortunately, it's taken them a long time to get what they got to get done. They just hired their consultant, so we're going to start moving forward with that. Of course, speed bumps are always an option. I don't know if it's the greatest option. We're going to find out through the
But what are the
expert.
options, for that?
They're going to tell us. The expert's going to tell us if there's ways to do curb cuts, something to narrow the street a little bit, to make it. We don't know.
'Cause
Speed bump is always what we always hear. I know Deputy Chief's going to agree with me that speeding is the #1 complaint. Last count, I don't know if you were here for that meeting, over 500, probably over 600 tickets written.
Yeah, I remember saying that.
Yeah, so it's not, we're not convinced it's enforcement, because they keep speeding even after the 500, 600, 700 tickets. I mean, so maybe speed bumps are it, but I drive a work van and I work downtown a lot, and there are a lot of speed humps, and it's very detrimental to that very heavy work van of mine. I know that. Everything's clanging and banging and falling off shelves. So I just don't know if speed humps or speed bumps that are.
They become issues for the snowplows too.
That,
Well, they got those ones, they could bolt down and pull up in the wintertime.
that's something that we'll talk to Public Works.
Just saying that's one of the reasons people are hesitant
Sure.
to place them. But it is a village-wide problem. It's not just in one area. We're
No,
all
it's
hypersensitive to our
not the big
particular areas, but it's bad because they ticket them and
Well, it's
they
bad,
just do
each
it
year,
again.
I've lived here almost 15 years, and each year it's getting worse.
I'm on 62 years now. 63,
So,
sorry.
I don't know
Trying to
what
be
the
younger
next-
than I am.
I don't know what the next step is, but we gotta do something.
What's the specific spot you would like to see the speed trailer?
From Cosman to Pulaski on 145th,
Which direction?
both ways.
You can only place it one at one time.
So, give me a narrow down.
We have one trailer.
Do
We
you
have
a
one
block?
speed trailer.
Do you have
No,
a
because
block that you're looking at?
They literally come down, and sometimes they will fly all the way down the crossroad without stopping, and then take a turn.
If you had to pick
DC?
east or west bound on that
I
street,
honestly couldn't pick, because there is no one
But
side that's
there-
worse than the other.
Deputy Chief, could you put a special attention on that and ask the guys to pay attention to that for the next couple of days, see if maybe we can get some tickets there and slow people down in the meantime?
So, going way back, we started with the stop signs, and obviously, stop signs don't make safer streets. It just makes more law breakers. So, we're not opposed to the speed bumps. We want to know that that's the right way to go long-term, and detrimental to the vehicles, your vehicle. You're gonna forget one day coming home and you're gonna hit it and you're gonna blow a shock or something, I don't know. I mean, we just wanna make sure that's the right way to go, because once they go in, they go in, so. And we have to talk to Superintendent Swanson.
Well, they're, you can pull them up come winter. You can get those.
Those break a lot
And you have to store them.
because they're the plastic material. So
We're not trying to give you excuses.
Yeah,
We're just,
I know, but-
there's things we've thought about for years.
One of the problems with the speed humps that we've done the research on is when you put them on one street, it helps that street, but it moves the problem to the streets adjacent to it.
Well,
So
I don't know how you chase
that's
that
why,
problem.
so, believe me, we all live here, I live across the street from the high school, so I know what speeding does, and I have 10 grandchildren. So I truthfully, like, this is something we've been working on, and that's why we've went to this engineering to, what are some of the options we have that will actually make an impact long-term? Making streets one-way, making streets dead ends, things like that, that stop the traffic so they can't just have one long stretch to go fast. We did have an area, a street, before many of us were on the board, that they did try to do speed humps. And I can tell you, I was on a committee at that point after it happened, and the neighbors from that block literally came into the safety committee screaming at each other because they were at such odds about it, because everybody wants them, but when they're put in front of your house and you can't turn into your driveway right, or the snowplows come and leave mounds of snow because they can't get over it, whether they're removed or
they ain't gotta
not.
be huge. There's all different ones you can get.
So you're right, but I'm just giving you both
As far as how it
sides.
takes the problem the
I'm-
next block over, I don't know.
And so these are all the things that we have to decide. So that's why we got a grant from CMAP for them, if you want to take a look at what they do. Flossmoor has a study that CMAP did that they're now implementing to try to slow down traffic. It's on their website, you can look at it.
So
you
what
can
are we
take a look.
looking at?
Well, they are starting the study. They've accumulated all of the data on speeding, on accidents, on things like that. They're going street by street, measuring, they're doing an engineering study.
So is that
to
we're
see.
going by what their studies are?
No, we have a grant to do our own.
No, I said, are we going off of like what their studies are to see what we might do?
No, we won't know until we get the study from CMAP ourselves. We're getting our own study.
We want to see what the proven
Yeah.
results are from
Yeah.
they're working in other towns. So, again, we're not here trying to make excuses.
I know,
We're
so
just,
saying we're looking at maybe doing something next summer? Is that kind of, we have a goal in mind?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
we should be done with that study by spring of next year.
Okay.
It should have been this year, but CMAP was backed up, and I'm just, want to be clear with you that we've been talking about this and thinking about these issues and solutions for so many years, and we just want to make sure it's the right ones. If we cul-de-sac 145th, then everyone's going to go to 143rd. 143rd and 149th are federal routes. We have to leave them open. So as Trustee Crowley said, they're going to leave 145th and they're going to go to 143rd. I don't know.
I can sum that up. For everything if you just stand a game in one spot, you're gonna give it up in another. So
Yeah, I
it's just
can
what
see that.
are we all willing to give up for a gain in one spot? And that's what the study's hopefully gonna tell us. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
I just don't want it to be a distraction of not to do anything, that's all.
No.
We're working on it.
We went and embarked on this journey with CMAP, so thank you. All right, I'll close the floor to public comment and move on to trustee business. Trustee Johnson.
Thank you, Mary. Just want to let everybody know that we are preparing for the FY25 audit. Our auditors were here on site this week getting everything ready. They should be back on site for August 11th. So if we need additional information from your departments from the point of view of audit material, I hope that we can count on you to provide it in a timely manner to our auditors. And the other thing I'd like to talk about is that we are having our community picnic on Sunday, August 17th from 2 to 5 p.m. I hope it's as successful as National Night Out was yesterday. I think picnics and events like last night are great opportunities for the community to come together. We'll be having hot dogs, we're gonna have a foam machine, we're gonna have games. If people would like to volunteer to help us with the events, we're more than happy to welcome your help. Please reach out to me, and we'll find you a spot to help us out with. And that's all I have tonight.
Thank you, ma'am. Trustee Burback.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to approve final payment to Gallagher Asphalt Corporation in the amount of $43,299.71 for the work completed on the 2023-2024 CDBG grant and MFT street resurfacing.
I'll second.
Discussion? Trustee?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, all right. Any other discussion? Roll call, please. Clerk Masko.
Trustee Burback.
Aye.
Trustee Crawley.
Aye.
Trustee Jed.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That's it for me, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Jed?
I do not have anything this evening,
Thank
sir.
you, ma'am. Trustee Killy?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Corrali?
Thank you, sir. Just a couple of things, under trustee Hilly's business. The fire department has quotes in here for some, computer updates and some Wi-Fi jetpack routers. The ones they have become outdated and they're increasingly unreliable. They're failing, to connect, they overheat, and they're hindering essential operations. So this is a budgeted item, and they are, sorry, I just lost my place. This is a budgeted item, and there is a hope that, not a promise, but a hope that by replacing this, we will actually possibly save some money. So this was up for discussion. Did anybody have any questions? Could you put it on the consent agenda next week?
I think it's on there.
Thank you for approval. Yep.
Oh, does anybody, I think the, I didn't do the math completely, but I think it's not to exceed $8,000, if I'm correct. 5,500 and.
I didn't see it.
Wait, there wasn't a total, but there were two of them together, two different ones. Oh, there. Let me just make sure the numbers are right. I think we're gonna have to get a definite number, because I'm not sure which number. So why don't we, I'll get the final quote for him, we'll put it on for consent agenda. Did anybody have any concerns if they have to order something now? We'll get it on the consent agenda next week, but I know a couple of them, they wanted to get replaced as quickly as possible because they were overheating. Okay?
Yep.
And then I'll make sure he gets I'll make sure he gives you a written quote for everything together.
Can you include that in the consent agenda?
Yes.
Thank you. That's it?
No, sir, I'm just getting
Oh.
started.
You get a list here.
I do have a list here. Okay, next on my agenda, Attorney Valdez handed out a draft of a new go-kart mini bike motorized recreational and off-road vehicle ordinance. He gave us copies of what our current ordinance is and what his recommendations are. I just gave a copy of it up, or Deputy Chief Tavermina grabbed a copy of it also. We've been talking about this for a little bit of time now. As all of us have seen, there's been an increase in dirt bikes and mini bikes, go-karts, all sorts of new types of motorized vehicles on the streets. There's been a couple of communities who have kind of spearheaded and started changing their ordinance. We need to be on top of it as well. We've all seen it. I actually saw 2 mini bikes zoom by me the other day, so that's what's kind of, pushing this forward and giving it some momentum. So if everybody could take a look at it. Did you have anything you wanted to say about it, Attorney Valdez?
Yes, actually, what I've submitted to you is the approach that Hinsdale had towards the issue of motorized electrical and gas bicycles, scooters, and bicycles that are pedaled.
I think I sent you a couple. Did you see the other one too?
Yeah,
Okay.
you did. So, but I think what we have is, over the years, people have been complaining about these vehicles on the sidewalk, and demanding that something be done about it. I think what the board needs to know is that the current ordinance, as you can see the highlighted part, prohibits all of these vehicles. So in other words, it shall be unlawful for any person to operate or drive, nor shall any owner permit or be operated or driven any motorized go-kart, mini bike, recreational off-road vehicle, motorcycle, moped, self-powered motorized scooter, electric personal assisted mobility device, or any other unlicensable vehicle driver driven by an internal combustion or battery-powered motor upon any highway, street, alley, sidewalk, or public property within the village. Now, it has always been the most restrictive of all the ordinances that you could possibly have is contained in that mouthful of 1015-26A. However, I think what you're seeing is, as the new generations of motor-powered electrical bicycles and scooters are created, legislatures, just like Illinois, have created licensing for these vehicles. Long story short is, we currently have the authority to ticket and restrict these vehicles. The problem is that the village would be open to some legal complications if we try to enforce an overall ban on something that the state allows to be licensed. So, with that said, Trustee Crowley has sent me a couple of possibilities as to the approach that the village wants to take. I do agree that some sort of regulation should be added to our current regulation, or prohibition, I should say. There is no regulation, you just can't do it. So I can blend both ours with regard to keeping the mini bikes and other things that are not licensable under the vehicle code as being prohibited in alley, streets, and sidewalks. And I could provide a couple of sections for what is statutory licensable by the state of Illinois. This ordinance from Hinsdale, if you have an opportunity to read it, you will see regulates behavior significantly, what you can do on these things, how you ride them, how you must drive them. The current ordinance regulates the objects themselves, saying you can't use them at all. So, at your direction, I can put something together that will make it as restrictive as possible, or I can provide, like Hinsdale did, restrictive rules for how these bicycles and vehicles are driven and licensed. So in other words, we'd have to open up a licensing division within the village to get license for them. And by the way, the Hinsdale license, I have it in red here, requires licenses for bicycles, just bicycles. My understanding, after conversation with the mayor, is that the village board does not want to license bicycles. Just the ones that are the propelled electronically combustion engines that cause the problems on the sidewalks and in the streets. So we can regulate that, we can regulate the behavior on that, and we can license that. And I can blend them in, remove the regulation of bicycles, and then we can cover all the rest of the stuff, if that's what the board wants to do. Again, I'm here to do as directed. I have my own opinions, but they don't matter, as the elected officials of the village who get the complaints and who are also responsible for not eliminating things that maybe some of our residents responsibly want to use and that can use under the Illinois statute, which would allow for them to use it.
I think all the complaints that I've received, and I don't know if anybody else has received them, have been about the abuse. Driving down the medians, cutting people off, driving across 147th Street, and we're talking about children, like 9, 10 years old.
Right. So then,
Trustee Johnson and I almost hit a child.
so then it's an enforcement issue.
And
Our
I
ordinance
also
is
have
very
a
clear.
question.
It's not allowed.
When you're done.
My second part of that is with the punitive aspect. So it looks like our ordinance now says a fine of not less than $25.
I highlighted that because I knew that would have to change.
So Is there a provision that we, until there's a hearing, that these bikes or recreational off-road vehicles can be confiscated?
And our current, our current ordinance provides for confiscation, but the Hinsdale does not.
Right.
And I think that's because they're about regulating the behavior.
Right.
You know, so I can certainly blend them.
I'm thinking a hybrid is what I'd like.
Okay, yeah, the highlighted parts are the things that I need direction from, and the board should be aware of. In our current, it's under the age of 16, the parent and legal guardian is responsible for a separate and distinct violation. So not only would we write a ticket to the kid, much like the disciplinary things that I think DC Deborah Media could attest to, is that not only does the kid get written up, but the parent who was responsible and wasn't supervising can get written up too. I would like to maintain that.
Yes.
Because I think what you're gonna see, and what you've seen, is that here's the keys, we'll see you at midnight, or we'll see you at sundown. And they just keep doing it over and over again. The parents take a position, some of them do, that, like, I paid a lot of money for that bike, where's he supposed to ride it? So I'm not gonna do anything about it. I think that if we turn the screws in terms of them regulating their children's behavior, restricting them maybe to parking lots with permission, private property with permission, or, if they get a license, driving the right way, you have two opportunities to punish behavior that is dangerous or illegal, both the child and the parents.
Okay.
In addition, it says 16. 16 is what is used right now in terms of holding the parents responsible. I don't think that needs to change. I think most of the problems are for under 16, and if you're 17, you can get a ticket anyway. And so yes, the confiscation and the parental responsibility were aspects that I would recommend that would go into the new hybrid ordinance.
And I'll take a look at this too with the police department and the paragraphs that you have highlighted in yellow, and I'll give you our feedback.
So Nick, I have a question. When you say public property, does that include Park District property? I'm thinking about Belly Button Hill. I live across the street. They're in there every day. They're on the path as people are walking. They're up and over that hill. They are running. They are riding across the soccer field. It is a different entity being the Park District. So in this language, does that automatically include the public, or the Park District
If the Park
property?
District prohibits that behavior on Park District property, then the village police department can enforce it.
But we don't know that.
We don't know that, no. We don't know.
Have you never seen any signs up there, have you?
No, they only say you can't sled.
So they would have to put signs up.
So the most that we could do then for park property, because they can allow kids to use their
I
property.
think we can have a conversation with them
Yeah.
and see if that's what they want before we go into
Right.
all of those different things. Don't you
But
agree?
in the event that the Park District chooses to allow them to ride on Park District property, we still have the licensing provision, which means that if that kid hasn't come in for his license, and he still has to have a license.
Yeah.
We have the same issue by us, behind the country club. We have kids going back there too, doing the same exact thing. And they're under 16 years old.
Right, right. And I think, as the mayor has said several times, the only reason to do anything at all, given that we have a comprehensive ban on these things, is that the legislature has chosen to license them. And while we are home rule, and it's an unknown as to whether we can ban something that is allowable as a transportation vehicle. My guess is going to be, eventually, we're going to have a problem with that, because scooters and electric vehicles are being promoted as being green, and sooner or later, someone is going to challenge our ordinance as to why we are banning completely something that is a legal use in the state of Illinois when licensed. And that would be a tough argument to make. So, I think is that all that I have? And obviously, the fine can go up to $750. And the hearing officer can decide, what that will be, or you can decide what a first offense should be for it. And there's also under section, what would be the new section, I would draft a whole new section for the regulation of this, and that would be chapter 30, 10-30-5, location restrictions. Even if we license them, you have the authority to say, but not on Cicero Avenue, but not on Pulaski, but not on 147th Street. So I've left that provisional section empty for you to tell me where you want it banned. I presumed you would pick Pulaski, Kedzie, Cicero, and 147th Street.
Minimum.
So if you want to take a look at that and get back to me, otherwise I can have a draft ready to go, maybe in 2 weeks.
Perfect.
Ready for your approval once I've gotten your direction as to, I think I know where we're going. I think I know what we need to do to make sure that the ordinance does two things. It does not loosen the restrictions for the crazy behavior that we see going on there. And I think part of that will remove it from the main thoroughfares. The other part will be the licensing of it and the parental responsibility for it. I think that is our best shot at amending our ordinance in light of the new developments and the licensing ability of these vehicles by state statute.
Perfect. Next, I see on the agenda here that Chief Delaney put the approval and discussion of the clerk's contract. However, on my version, I don't see that there's an attachment. Am I missing it?
I don't believe he attached anything.
Okay, because I thought he was trying to attach a copy of the contract. Because I don't think they can vote on
I
it
didn't
if there's
see,
not.
yeah, I didn't see one on there because I didn't.
Nothing
approve it.
attached.
You approved it? You know, the.
I did.
Nope.
I approved it because he had called me, yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe there was an attachment.
Okay,
So
so-
that's why I left it.
Yeah, I will have him put that on for next week with the attachment, because no one got to see it, so. Next, I wanted to make the board aware, we do have a new applicant for our EMA. This is a paid-on-call position, and I wanted to make the board aware that he has passed all the background and screening elements, and the police department would like to add him on as one of our EMA officers. Did anybody have any problems or concerns with that?
No.
Okay. And last but not least, I wanted to talk for a minute about our National Night Out last night. I'd like to thank everybody who came out, everybody who helped, everybody who volunteered, everybody who donated. It went off, in my opinion, without a hitch. The weather was beautiful. To the Community Policing and Safety Committee, I'm still a little speechless, so I'm gonna keep it short. I hope everybody who attended knows how much work goes into this event. And it would not be done if it wasn't for the efforts of 5 or 6 people who truly step up and commit weeks and weeks of preparation and organizing and putting things together, down to shopping lists for every bit of food that comes in, and organizing all of the vendors, setting up the day of. There's a lot of work that goes into it. And I can't say enough, how much our volunteers on this committee do. Including my 2 trustees to the left of me, Trustee Jett and Trustee Killey, who I couldn't do it without them. The things people don't see, Trustee Killey walking around in his little hat picking up garbage for 2 hours beforehand, Trustee Jett filling up coolers of ice and making sure the hamburgers are cold. Like, thank you doesn't cut it. So I appreciate you guys being part of this with me and going through this every year, and I don't know what I would do without you guys. To the rest of our committee, unfortunately, they're not here to hear this, but we have an amazing group of people who just step up time and time again, and I think the police department feels exactly the same way. So thank you first and foremost to the CPSC committee.
You're
You guys
welcome.
did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Um,
You do.
Don't get me going, okay? You did it last night. Next, the residents. Anybody have any pictures of the village greens last night? You can't see the grass. The entire greens at one point was completely packed with families and children having a good time with our police department, with our fire department, with our public works, with our building department, with our front office staff. Everybody was there having a good time. We went through hundreds of hamburgers, hundreds of hot dogs. A huge shout out to Ken Keeler at Canute's Pizza. He donated 70 pizzas for our event this year.
Great.
I could go on, and I know I'm probably gonna forget somebody, but I just wanna thank everybody, the village board that has been so supportive of this event. Everybody on the board comes to the event, they help out. I had the clerk, the trustees, the mayor all coming up, just grabbing things, helping out, calling numbers, mingling, taking care of things. So thank you to all of you. We have the best board around. You know, it's kind of like the police department. There's not a better board in the state of Illinois. So thank you, everybody. And that's all I have to say, Lisa.
Steve Jones. And you need to vote on the hiring of the officer.
Oh, I forgot to speak.
You closed the laptop already? Oh,
I
she's-
did.
Yeah, she's done.
I
She's
was all
done.
nervous about, I was all nervous about my
Good to
digital
go.
night out. I had sent this out a few weeks ago, Steve Jones' contract to be renewed for another 6 months. So I would like to make a motion to renew Steve Jones' contract.
I'll second it.
Discussion? No discussion? Roll call, please, clerk.
Trustee Crowley.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Burbatt.
Aye.
Trustee Jed.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And I would like to make a motion to extend an offer to, or to hire our new EMA person as a paid-on-call.
I'll second.
You have to say the name?
Yes.
By the name,
I don't have his name.
it's a he.
I just know it's him. I don't have his name. Do you know his name?
Yeah, Danny Wright,
Danny Wright.
There we go.
Okay.
Now we're in
For the
compliance.
record.
W-R-I-G-H.
Thank you, sir. Any discussion? Roll call, please, clerk.
Trustee Crowley.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Burbatt.
Aye.
Trustee Jed.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
And that's all I have to say, sir.
Thank you, man. And I also wanted to thank everyone as well for last night. What a great event. And I think you hit on the head. I don't think everyone up here understands what it means to the residents to see everyone here was out there last night. And that, it's just incredible. And I think that means a lot to the residents, and I think that's why they keep going back. So please, thank you, and we'll see you next year. So, well, I'll see you next week, but whatever. Maybe I won't see you next week. All right, where are we at? Attorney Valdez?
Just a matter for a closed session, which should take no more than 4 minutes. Call in 4 minutes.
I have nothing tonight, Clerk Mosley.
I have nothing, sir.
Thank you, sir. Then at this time, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn to closed session to discuss litigation when an action against, affecting, or on or behalf, to discuss litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We're in closed session. There's no further action following closed session.
No.
There's no further action following closed session. Thank you all.